ask me questions from over there?
Yep. Actually, I'll be right here. State your name and what brought you to Hamilton today.
My name is Crystal Cox, and I come down here to see the local judge to try to get a protective order because I got a death threat, and I feel that the gentleman that gave me the death threat, he lives in Stevensville. He works at the University of Montana, and I came down here seeking help from the local judge.
Did you receive it?
No, they told me it was out of their jurisdiction. They refused to give me an order because he wasn't a family member and other reasons the judge gave me. And so, no, I still don't have a protective order. And the Lincoln County courts wouldn't give me one either. Guess I shouldn't say that, huh?
What's the start of all this? What started all this? What's
Well,
your background? Yeah.
We're running a recall for the sheriff in Eureka, Montana. And this man, Sean Boucher, wrote a letter to the editor trashing the recall. And he named this gentleman named Paul Stramer and concealed weapons. So I wrote a post about him on my blog that said the recall was about meth, it's about rape, it's about real crimes not being prosecuted, and it's not about any one particular person. And, you know, I said, since I called him a coward and an idiot, which, you know, is a little bit inflammatory, but I feel that he was unjust in what he was saying. So then from there, he sent me a death threat to permanently put me down and a whole bunch of other sick stuff, and I took it to a local judge, and she refused me an order. And so I came to Hamilton to try to get a protective order because he lives in Stevensville, like I said, works in Missoula at the University of Montana, and he's moving back up to Eureka. He owns property in Eureka, but they told me it wasn't their jurisdiction, even though the cop here told me it probably is in their jurisdiction, but I should go to Missoula, where the crime happened, where the email supposedly came from, and talk to the cops there, and get the cops to write a report, and then come back here and get the judge to give me a temporary order, he said, based on his experience.
Sounds like quite a web.
It is.
Having to jump around to different counties and different jurisdictions for justice. Okay, why can't you file an order of protection with Missoula?
I haven't tried to file an order of protection with Missoula, but frankly, I give up.
Cut, sorry. About 15 seconds. What did you say? You sound...
I'm not getting any justice, and I'm going to give up. I'm not going to Missoula. I'm done. I'm not going to go to the Missoula police. I've went everywhere. I have stats that I honestly believe that there's a cop involved in Eureka. I'm afraid of the cops. I'm afraid of this man, so I'm just going to wait. For what, I don't know. But I've told the University of Montana that this man's threatened me. I've provided weeks' worth of stats, hour after hour. I have the state of Montana involved, that this guy, the other guy that is sent me hate mail. I have proof that it's coming from the IP address of the Mitchell building in Helena. The state of Montana is, you know, they said they'd help me, but nobody's helping me. Meanwhile, I got a death threat, and I'm just like waiting to die, and nobody will help me. So I thought I'd try Hamilton, but I'm not getting any help here either. So
because Hamilton's the county seat, and you thought that Stevensville being in that county, you'd be able to get some.
Because he lives here in Stevensville. Yep. So I understand that the cops are they can only do what they can do if it's true. If the judge really should have given me an order and I have that right to have that, then I feel violated. But if it's within the law that the judge, you know, said if he has to be a family member, I have to live with him, I don't really understand why I can't have protection if I'm not family. He threatened to kill me and permanently put me down. He said that means exactly what it implies.
What was the permanent put down?
That he permanently... Can I read you that part?
Please.
He said he's the only guy that carries more ammo than another guy that he'd named. So at some point you're going to lose it, and we will have to take you down. Yes, that means just what it implies. Or somebody is going to get pissed off enough to shut you up permanently. I hope I'm there to see it. And so, you know, that, and there's a whole bunch of other just sick and vile stuff. And I provided all the stats to where the email came from. And I'm going to pursue this in civil court.
Where are the emails coming from?
This email here?
Any of them? Any of these
threats? I have emails, I have hate mail coming from the Mitchell building in Helena, room 6. And it's a state IP address. So any city court or district court in the state of Montana would use that IP address. That's why I believe it's a cop in Eureka. One cop searched his name. I have it all online. I've put it on Congressman Ryberg's Facebook page. I've sent it to all the people in the University of Montana. I've sent it to my local commissioner. I've sent it to a detective in Lincoln County. I've sent those stats to everybody I can think of for help to prove that he's stalking me. And I have this, and nobody will help me.
Okay, the Mitchell Building, what is that? For those of
Well,
us who've never been to Helena.
I didn't know either, so I called him and told him I got a death threat and I needed help. So the IT guy called me to help me with this, and he said what happens is it's basically just a room where all of the Montana IPs, anybody who's on mt.gov, so all of the city courts and the justice courts are linked in with the Supreme Court, and basically it's just a room in Helena that does the technical support, the internet, correspondence for all of these different places. So it's definitely somebody within the city court or the district court level system that's stalking me. I've proved it every day, but they know they're above the law. They must know they have the sheriff in their pocket. They must know they have the judge in their pocket because they are not afraid. I've listed on the site. I've listed the sites online right now, and they're still there today, right now. University of Montana's done nothing. State of Montana's done nothing. Nobody will stop them, and they're still on my site, and they're searching for the same things that they've put in these hate blogs about me. This under the same username, they're searching it. I have proof of all of that, and nobody will listen to me. So.
Read that other one that said about the moral sin.
That's not.
The moral. That's not
in mine.
Okay.
I can. That's
okay.
to do with them too. Yeah, I was asked to. This email has just a whole lot of hate, and this email has the same theme: calling me a coward, talking about the local officer, the lady officer in Eureka, and talking about it's got three common elements as the email I got out of the IP address in the Mitchell Building. But to be honest with you, this particular email, as of today, I don't know where it's coming from. I've got all the stats to prove where it's coming from. But this email goes through Spain and California. It's somebody that technically knew what they were doing. But the other hate mail that's similar is tracked to the Mitchell Building. I will have an answer to this within a week because I'm filing a civil lawsuit next week, and I'm getting the IP address of crystalcoxisabitch@yahoo.com, which is the email he sent me from. And
repeat that again, please.
crystalcoxisabitch@yahoo.com. This Sean Boucher put in the letter to the editor, someone needs to watch the Lincoln County Watch. Well, that's the name of this blog. Watch lincolncountywatch.blogspot.com. Now, this blog he's dropped because the judge asked him if he owned it. He said no, he dropped it, but I have a permanent record of it. SANDPTCPL is his username on it. So we're subpoenaing Google to get the identity of that, and I've also he searches that on his site. He searches it on my blog, and I have proof of that. And some of these same sentences are the sentences in my death threat. And he also did this review of me on Great Realty USA, and it says some of the same sick stuff, which is just too sick to even say. And he does it in someone else's name, but it's the same words. Mm-hmm. And if you've seen it, you'd know those words, and I'm not going to say them.
Right.
So I have pretty much a whole ton of technical evidence.
So why is this person so pissed off at you?
He's upset with his father-in-law, I think, and he's taking it out on me. He's going, I think, to be honest with you, I think that he wrote a letter to the editor against the recall. This is my opinion and what I believe, that the sheriff or cop, somebody called him and is helping him to set up his father-in-law, Paul Stramer, in order to discredit one of the points that is on the recall, which is denying Paul Stramer's concealed weapon permit. If they can do that, get a protective order, they can take all his guns and deny the permit and therefore make the recall unjust. Meanwhile, he's giving me death threats and he has a concealed weapon permit.
I know several other cases very similar to that. In fact, at least one of which I know that he did get his property.